Good morning. We start with Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga. From the heart of the savior of 100 deities of Tushita, on a peak of cloud resembling a clump of extremely white fresh curd, King of Dhamma, omniscient Losandrapa, please come here together with your sons. In the sky before me, on a lion drawn lotus and moon, my perfect pure Guru smiles with delight. Supreme field of merit for my mind of faith, please abide for 100 yawns to spread the teachings. Your holy mind has the intelligence that understands the full extent of objects to be known. Your holy speech with its excellent explanations is an ear ornament for those of good fortune. Your holy body is radiantly beautiful with glory renowned. To you who are meaningful to see, hear, and remember, I prostrate. Pleasing drinking water, various flowers, fragrant incense, lice, scented waters, and so forth. Ocean of cloud-like offerings, both actually arranged and mentally emanated. I offer to you the supreme field of merit. Whatever non-virtue of body, speech, and mind, especially those opposite to the three vows that I have collected from beginningless time, I confess each and every one with fervent regret from my heart. You strove for much learning and practice in this degenerate age, and made your freedoms and richnesses meaningful by abandoning the 8 worldly concerns. Savior, we sincerely rejoice in your extensive deeds. Perfect, pure, holy gurus, from the billowing clouds of wisdom and compassion in the sky of Dharmakaya, please let fall a rain of profound and extensive Dharma upon the receptacle of those to be subdued exactly as they need. May whatever virtue I have collected benefit the teachings and all transmigratory beings, and in particular, may it cause the essence of perfect pure Losandrapa's teachings to shine forever. Sajipaki Chushigmeto Dramrirablikshi Nidegyempadi Sange Shindu Miteoa Hijokunanda Shilajupasho. By the merits of having offered this mandala to Lama Tsongkhapa and his 2 sons, may I, my family members, and all sentient beings be able to meet, practice, and actualize the teachings of the victorious one, Losandrapa, who had the morality of eminently pure way of life, was courageous in an extensive conduct of the sons of the victorious ones, and accomplished the yoga of 2 stages of supreme bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratnam Mandalaka Niryatayami. By the force of having fervently requested in this way, hollow beams of white light are emitted from the hearts of the perfect pure Father and Sons, and combining into one, enter my crown. White nectar, the color of milk, flows from the opening of tube of white light, cleansing all my sicknesses, spirit harms, negative karmas, obscurations, and their imprints without exception. My body becomes as pure and clear as crystal. We recite 5-line Miktsema 3 times. Migme tsewe ten chen chen rezi, dreame gyempe wampo jampe ya, tupo malu jonze sawenda, kanche kepe tsungen zongkapa, lo sandrape shabla sowade. Migme tsewe ten chen chen rezi, dreame gyempe wampo jampe ya, tupo malu jonze sawenda, Kanche kepe tsungen tsongkapa, lo sandrape shabla sowade. Migme tsewe ten chen chen rezi, dreame gimpe wampo jampe yang, lupo malu jonze sawenda, kanche kepe tsungen tsongkapa, lo sandrape shabla sowade. A prayer for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Fearless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings. Through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for mother living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels, and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in a glory for fortunate disciples.
Sanji Chodang Soji Chonong La Chanchu Pardu Dang Kyapsun Chi Dagi Chushi Jebang Dag Drolam Penshi Sanji Drupara Sho Sanji Chodang Soji Chonong La Chanchu Pardu Dang Kyapsun Dagi Chushi Jebang Dagi Drolam Penshi Sanji Drupara Sho Sanji Chodang Sojin Chonum La Changchu Bardo Dan Kyabsun Dagi Chushi Jebanda Dag Drolam Penshi Sanjin Drubar Sho Kangi Tuzini Zone Tawa Tamchi Pambi Cheri Tambi Chun Dunze Kodam Tela Changse Lo Namo Lai Kedan Lodono Ziki Tribon Dana Mi Kenan Dro Kunji Dano Chizam Tamji Kedan Dangi Chuden Ho. Good morning, everyone. Kendoji the Shopatele.
Shopatele can Shopatele.
Ngijidan Tsar Kashi Tema Kashi Lab Science Ra. Ngan Lamram Nalaya Gom Gyawandi Dedang Jora. Lu Namnan Chudun Densage.
Dedam Sena?
Nganzuma Gom Gyavikal Dengan Deira. Dengan Devikalaya, the Dedang Chikson Yores. This is Chidan Lela Waras. In a Duzu Kitchen Buchinra. Kitchen Buchin Sungdasti. Depending any Gom Munigi Tajik Gom Yang Jimbana. There's a Nenga Chimbuchagos. And a lockdown to Tinalaya. Make some young mares. Make some Nagon Chagdo. Ah, Make Ran so Shagores. Make Fatena and the Gobadang and the Namila so Legore. Make some Chima Legore. Kanji Tengins and Tunguyo mares. 믹드랑 소를 샤고레스. The kitchen we said it. And then ganzo commission gomjagas let lamsa mix some chasta. T dinjimin you tango was a race. Tuna. And it penanganzo Jamachom den dig Kunda Shawandi, Kunda Shanare, Tanga Shamba in a re. Any Sanjichom den dig Kunda Chen Zum ding Kun Shang Luxuyo Mares. Dissemblage Shago das ra.
Good morning. Prior to today, on a number of occasions, I presented the sitting posture that one engages in when one meditates. And the sitting posture is something described by the Buddha and presented in the Lamrim texts. So the sitting posture is both easy to understand, easy to do, and of some importance. For those who are sincere about their meditation, if their sitting posture isn't correct, then that will pose an obstacle to their meditation. So the one point that I want to emphasize here is that one should not close one's eyes completely whilst meditating, nor sit with them wide open like when we usually go about our daily activities, but rather they should be slightly open with a slightly downward gaze. So this is important, and it's important because if one meditates with one's eyes closed, this serves to bring on lethargy in one's mind. Maybe experience of sleepiness, but certainly a lethargy, a dullness will easily descend. On the other hand, if one's eyes are wide open, then one's very likely to be distracted. So therefore, they should be just at slightly open with a downward gaze, allowing in light. And this is, we can see how this should be done by looking at statues and tankas of Buddha Shakyamuni. In all of them, you'll see his eyes are painted in this way or depicted in this way as being slightly open, but not closed. Yeah, that's all.
Lu ransor shase, lu korang ke karsa da chik shuk ya mogoya chi, lu korang tola dea chik yoris da di dewa ina, lu gi pigi gi nanglo gi tsa gi nangi chak rodan yoris, chak nyambu yungo yosa, ta chak dang long la soba tsama, nyambu yungo yosa reyas. Di nyambu lewa ina, sem di des chik sewa ro ni ma ko yela soba ta ganji keba mangbu chi yore ta di ta lamram din na chi te sha ba na lamsa ha ko res chakbu din kin mares ina di kechembu as lamram khanda ji ba na ya di sungu da lam khanda ji ba di sungu da di kunzu gi nyamnyong to lamram ni shebi gi togbi yong den di gyulan chong changyen tusogi nyamnyong ton sungorasra tijiding anzola ya lamram ni shebi togbi yonden di rangula ki gogo yobana nyamnyong bi yoding tsugi labja di bekichenbores bekichenbo ra.
Moreover, in terms of the actual body, one's body should be quite balanced, not too tight and tense, and certainly not too relaxed. So, but one should be relaxed, certainly not tight and tense. And this is important to aid the energy that flows within our channels within our body. The way that the energy needs to flow is in a balanced manner. And so sitting therefore in a posture which is comfortable, but not tight, where the body itself isn't uptight, but rather is relaxed, this aids the mind to become balanced as well. So in the Lamrim, this is presented in a very clear manner. And based on this presentation, this is how all the great meditators have meditated. And when they teach, this is the way of meditating, the physical posture and so forth, that the meditators present, because they have followed the instructions in the Lamrim and thereby gained experience of the Lamrim from doing so. And for those of us who aspire to give rise to the various realizations of the Lamrim within our own continuum, within our own mind, we need to follow what's in the Lamrim, and included there is the points on one's posture, and these will aid one's realizations of the various topics of the Lamrim. That's all.
Tada da gomya yorosro. The two di legunder gomya di legunder samyati ani keshimbo. Tenda kewang hashi ro the chud namda chingi jimbana chu shuk chenbo jengin jimbana kewang hashi gi kowachi kewang hashi sengin dikta kelen chego go asro. Then Zambilina Kiangashi killing in New Redina. Kiangashi Yomars loving a kashi, Yondoka was. In a maybe Gunzi, Namdajik, never did this Gashigatambaris. Koransu Yomars Lavania, maybe Gunzin Kishos Lavana. Tatunan Thomason said. Nien Thomason said. Tangien Tom Manton with Gunzin never Doguchona. Any Ajang Yogda
Further, in terms of meditation, there are many important topics to meditate on, to cultivate within one's mind. Cause and effect, karma, this is one of great importance. Another of great importance is reincarnation. So I single these two out, reincarnation and karma, because in order to really accept the Dharma and therefore to strive in the Dharma, one needs to believe in cause and effect and reincarnation. And whilst, especially if we think of reincarnation, throughout the world, there are many people who do not believe in reincarnation. But when asked to present reasons for that, they don't have really solid reasons. In fact, the majority will just say, I haven't observed it, therefore it doesn't exist. And you don't need to think too deeply to know that that as a reason to say something doesn't exist really is quite a poor reason, because there are many things that one hadn't observed, but did either then or later exist. That's all.
Terda le said Chawale Jargores, Chaware, the less and the mas Chawares. Chawakar Cheva tell them big. Any Drebuji Yungures. Chavakoran the Tumbig Drebuji Yungre model. Chavakoran the Mintumbig Drebuji Yong Sigio Mares. T. Any co Mubi Chini address.
Chini?
Mubu, any Mubu
Chini.
Chinies, ra.
Cause and effect, or karma. Karma, this word karma can also be, a Sanskrit word can be directly translated as activity. In that all activities lead to results. All results come from activities. This is the very nature of all impermanent things or functioning things. Their very nature is that they come about independent on causes. That's all.
There's the Chava Yazo let them be Devi Yazo. The Yungores. The two Chava Yazo the Kares Laundi. Any Rangdan Shenlea Pembi Chavachi Yobana. Randa Shenlea Benataji Devan Joyagi Gu Chavachi Yobana. And Chavadi Yabutsakores. Yabura, the Ra. Yag Duk said the current Pendo the Meg Tony. Manzukishi or Ra. Jalajivan, Jaladi Yabu, Yima in the two di Pendo Yemil Dagoras. 내가 가르쳐 봐야 야가 두세야 돼. 펜도 여면 따고 해서 아니 펜비기 자와지 봐나 아니 자와디 상부 자와디 개와스야 돼. 아니 상부라 고쳐고 살아서 개와싱인데 상부라야 고쳐고래서 다 자와 상부지 봐나 디긴 제부디 아니 대화용 거래서 디 인치 민지기 상로탄 니바니바이나 테니 자와 독자 제 야디 랑싱기 소소소급에 당들래니 자와 독자 제야야 깡고 책으로 왔어 자와 독자 제 마셔야게 매준 책으로 왔어 라 tel jawa dugja cheba di kawa di dorduna chö number sanji bi chö di tindi ju ton lego ndas ro tinza lender sonya di ngubi chunyi jila shishani ani lu gi chawa cheda sem gi chawa cheda nga gi chawa cheda toni kanjin dorduna midi yakbu 소야기 탑질해 놨어. 로.
Activities which we could call wholesome, these lead to wholesome results or desired results. Wholesome activities then are those which bring benefit to oneself as well as others. Another way to express what is wholesome, what are wholesome activities, are those which are causes that lead to happiness. And being causes that lead for happiness, we can say that those causes, those wholesome activities, are beneficial activities. Whether an activity with something that one does with one's physical behavior or one's speech or way of thinking, whether it can be considered wholesome or not, depends on whether it leads to happiness or not. So therefore, whether it is virtuous or not depends on whether it's a wholesome activity. When one thinks about cause and effect, one thinks about this explanation, this presentation very well, and one comes to gain a certainty in the law of cause and effect, the result is that one will naturally, with ease, turn away from what is non-virtuous, what is unwholesome. And moreover, one will be able to not only do it easily, but one will make great effort. One will strive in ensuring that even the subtler levels of unwholesome activity, whether one's done physically or one's verbal communication or thinking, one will make great efforts to abandon even the subtler levels. And this will be, from the Buddhist perspective, reflected in a desire to strive in the Dharma, to cultivate the Dharma within oneself, all those wholesome minds that are presented in the Dharma. So this sequence comes through recognizing that everything that is impermanent comes about in dependence on causes. This is its very nature. This is how things are in reality. They come about in dependence on causes. When we understand this well, we'll recognize that those causes we can accumulate or cultivate through physical behavior, our way of speaking, or our way of thinking. And therefore, when we understand this well, we'll strive to ensure that our physical behavior, our speech, and our way of thinking is virtuous, is wholesome, because we know that these are the causes that will bring benefits to ourselves and others and lead to happiness for ourselves and others. That's all.
Terda yan chawa yakso sadi chawa yakso sadi negab dang pugyan rimbu la tene Geshe shetan chigyoras kodang chigyores ra bena negab nganso ani kepsang soro jita negab dewa chig yoba tsamgi pugyan rimbu la ya nugu yoba na chawa di yagu chago mares 라 네급 세드 네급 성라 네급디 뒤수 튼동지 계절에스 뒤수 튼동지 기준이야 지 팬도 여바 zam기 안 페마소 상아서 겨름부 팬도 여바지 상당고엔자 페나 카세도 짐바나 칼라사야 짐바나 캅술이야지 아니 신부 여바 견전의 체니 세샤바나 아니 수수 풀이야 수불은 내야다 딘디 마무 돈이 차바나 딘디 마송스 딩원이 미지기만 디치 말아서라 배는 차라다고 짐바나 카줄이야지 아니 그 건비왕기 즉 신부로 즉 소르기 여바나야 안 딜 때니 수분 나로 troll아줘야 될 때니 비게다 즉 처음에는 통바이나 아니 샘충줘야 아니 샘투바이나 아니 자와랍 친치야다 간지 망부지 쇼줘야 아니 멜라이나 투바잡대야 더 딘디 너세 망부지 인거라스 티치 드조 자와디 똥위 자와있는자 세위 자와있는자 딜레 디르다 딜레가디 아니 레드 두가 드레스
When we look at activity or karma, and wanting to engage in what is wholesome, we need to look at it, well, we can look at it from two perspectives, the short term and the long term. We tend to all too often focus just on the short term, what brings us some temporary benefit or temporary happiness. And whilst that's okay to have temporary benefit, temporary happiness, we need to be very aware of the long-term results. Because if the long-term results are more problems or unhappiness, despite some temporary benefit, those activities should be avoided. Those should be considered unwholesome rather than wholesome. We should rather strive in what brings long-term benefit. And we have the capacity, this mental capacity, to be able to clearly differentiate between what only has short-term benefits and what has long-term benefit. So for example, if there's a particular food that we really enjoy, so it brings us some temporary benefits because it's delicious, but it's unhealthy. Therefore, we know that if we eat it too often or too much, in the long term, our body will be harmed. Clearly, we should refrain from what only benefits our body in the short term, but in the long term will lead to problems. Where this is also very clear is with alcohol. One may enjoy the taste, one may enjoy the sensation, but again, the long-term problems that can follow, in particular in terms of if one indulges far too much, the harm it can bring to one's body, but even from whenever one drinks, it can lead to our mind being distorted. And when our mind is distorted, we end up not being able to think very clearly and thereby making what turns out later to be very wrong choices. And we engage in behavior that brings harm to both ourselves and others. So therefore, when looking, analyzing whether an activity, physical, mental, or verbal, is wholesome or unwholesome, we should not just be focusing on the short term, but we should be using our intelligence and being aware of the longer term results that will follow. That's all.
아니 론두 그 자와디 산통 그 자와디 니마 딱봐 제거해지래다스 라 니마 딱봐 제거한자 아니 갑 드디 아니 가드이나 직 아니 템발이야 아니 체담 푹슬라다 네갑담 푸냐 림분이기 아니 야 삼라탄 직 푸냐 림불이야 펜빅 자와치야지 삼라탄야다 아니 직 자와 강을 제바디 셴라 만져바지 존나 직 셴라 펜토 투야기 자와 제바이나 다디 아니 니샤 찌기 로당기 토니 아니 추기 차와 차야 최든 통바지 차고레스 빼나 레갈링인지 말이야 가와 레갈리기가 봐나 레갈 레사텔이야 펜통이 씹어지 제자바이나 아니 라찬코 란싱 라용 그레스 안 포기야 림불이야 아니 미참마 가워치야지다 참말라 펜바지 용거로 왔어 라
Within our families, we engage for their sake in a variety of different activities every day. When doing so, it's important to be mindful of both the short-term results as well as the long-term results of whatever it is you're engaging in, or whatever you're physically doing, what you talking or saying and thinking about. This is really important. And at the very least, one should ensure, both in the short and long term, that it brings no harm. And ideally, what we should strive for is to ensure that our activities bring benefit. And if they bring benefit, then they will be in accordance, in harmony with the Dharma. The same goes for the other area where you spend a lot of time and energy, and that's your place of work, your field of work. And there we need to ask ourselves, is my work, does it bring benefit? If so, not only will one earn a salary, but one will have good relationships. In other words, people will appreciate the kind of work you do. So this will help bring about good relationships with others, in addition to earning one's living. That's all.
Pena tangaran gadun disamgu yesro. Tanga chuzo de la lebra ta, nga chuzo de la ketang, nga chuzo de la lere. Nga chuzo de la leya di chuzo de la ya yongbi mitso la ya chik pento ya chik chedu. Ta ketang ro daro. Nga inanda ke yuri inanda ro ketang ro. Tinza ngi chuzo de la ya yongbi mitso la ya chik nekab tsam mayimba pugya rinpu la ya pento yong ya ke samlo tang goya di ngi lega chagores. Ngi lega chagores. Tenansi chuzon dinong lega chingi sunda jingba ina ya. Nekab susu kanga kale kada ma kada. Chik susu lan deba yomu yola ma teba. Di teba ina nor sares. Di teba ina chuzon dinla yongni lega machi na yakshures. Lega chisa shimba mambu yorwas. Dela letsi wichila mi mambu shu jigi ani pugyang rinbu tola ya samlo tanggoya di chuzo di thomang tsugubi godang kora di chaga warwas. Di inza dela ya ani tungyun rogram chaya mato dela gaksha chaya dang di kanggo chaya la soba cheba na tsawa nini mi mambu shu jigi ani dewa drubya dang dunga sayagi tabla ya nödo wares. Pena chanju sambala ya kondro sabatago chado wares. Chanju sambala kondro se ondi digba chimbu res labra. Kahinsana chanju sambi sumchan tamchegi tuyendi drogu yawanza. Sumchan tamchegi tuyendi drogu kansa tala nöba chebana. Sumchan tamchela nöbi gyun drogu yawanza. Hajang digba chimbu res. Tila waras ra. O dizoro jire. Kanji sosu kari lega kari cheba ina ya. 아니 셴라 만네바지다 셴라 펜바직 제자바이나 소소라 케벤 요바드 야차자다 말이스 라 어디 성단이 아니 내가 가르쳐봐야는 네 성단 도샤바이나 아니 니마치기 내가 뒤쳐도 좀 차도 그랬어 테마도 베기 니리기 내게 나와야 지 쳐도 좀 지야 셴바 베는 돈이 또 로고면 찬주그 셈 고면다 곰게야 소바디 갑자기 연구 말아왔어. 깔 가보러 왔어. 내가 거래기 자막 찾는 민들어 차고 앉아. 간지 내가 간지 봐도 펜비 꼴홍지 캔 제자와나. 다디 약슈레스.
something that I keep very present in my mind from really when I was first invited some years ago to come here, come to this Dharma Center, is that the very reason why I have been requested to move to Australia and to live and work here at this Dharma Center is because I must benefit others. I must bring benefit into the lives of others. Therefore, the advice I've just given you, I try to live by, try to be mindful of both the short and long-term impacts of all my activities. This is my responsibility. It's my responsibility to ensure that I only benefit others. Within my capacity, I only benefit others. And certainly, I do not engage in any harm, any activities that would bring harm to others. And to try and fulfill this aspiration, this determination of mine, this or rather, let's rephrase that, through having this determination to always being mindful of the short and long-term impacts of my my speech and my behavior, my way of thinking, this helps me to focus on the benefit, the welfare that comes to others. And therefore, any obstacles that I may encounter, these aren't my focus. They're not so important to me. Rather, I keep my focus on whether I'm having benefit on others or not. And quite frankly, if this was not my attitude, I should not be here. In fact, this could apply to all of us here. We should cultivate the attitude. Our purpose of being here is to bring benefit. And if this is not the purpose that we are acting under, then maybe this isn't. We should readdress our attitude. And a key reason for this is if we harm others, they will get upset. And if they get upset, they are creating the causes for suffering. And that is not the purpose of a Dharma Center. For example, in Shantideva's Bodhisattva's Way of Life, he explains that getting angry at a bodhisattva creates so much negativity. And the reason that getting angry at a bodhisattva creates so much negativity is that bodhisattva has as their heart objective the fulfillment of the needs of all beings, of leading all beings to lasting happiness. So if one is angry at such a being, one is creating an obstacle for them to benefit others, and therefore one creates so much more negativity. This, what I'm sharing with you, how I try and live my life, what aids this is my environment here, in that this is very clearly a Dharma environment. For yourselves, if you live and work here, then we're in the same environment. But if your daily activities are quite different, then I encourage you to ensure that what you engage in, your work and so forth, that this is wholesome, that it's virtuous. Because if you have the wish to cultivate the minds of Dharma within yourself, you know that meditating on topics such as emptiness or bodhicitta, it's difficult to do, in particular, to bring about a lasting transformation in oneself. But if your work is wholesome and virtuous, then that will serve as a support or serve to aid your meditation. And thereby, it will serve through the cultivation of merit, aid your meditation. So therefore, I encourage you to look at your daily activities and ensure they stay on the side of what is virtuous, what is wholesome. That's all.
There's a mangcha mambuj, the mancha said, Digomara, me mambuji, Mangana, Menshebag, Pena, Menshebag, Legaching Jaras. Anna never Yamtalaya, Robaching. And Penimachilla, Chuzanga to be diet. I didn't know him by now. Tara, Chuzu, Kazu, Sigarilaya, so Legaching, and T. Rilaya, Piggy never telaya. Pentongi Shivach. Ra. Something called it in the carrier. In a D. Conga chosen Dindig mother, they will be Tirilla, a Sobacom shall go some. Ah. Pentongi Shivach Chesavana. That did that. Tini, the giver is that Ra. Cans Colon Sambo Kesarada. And so Goya Lachan Tagda Ragro. 든지기 아니 삼로 개바 쇼지래도 asra.
In society, many people work in nursing and related fields where their primary activity for hours every day is caring for others, in working with others, trying to achieve the very best they can for their patients. Now, certainly this work isn't easy, and they do experience difficulties, this without a doubt. But the more they are able to take care of their mind and keep at the forefront of their mind their wish to do their very best for the welfare of others, this will keep their mind happy as well as powerful and strong. And this, in addition to earning a living. Here, we have two things coming together: wholesome, virtuous activities or work, as well as, if they take care of their mind, focusing on what is important, bringing the very best to others within their capacity. Those two together will make a great difference, and their work will bring them much happiness and joy. That's all.
Di samlo zobo gom tu yagi samdanya ko the yobajirendo asra. Never di never was. Never in the kangan chegi yobansa menkana lebara. Mi shembajigi robago yobansa menkana lebara was. Menkana leoni drosung tan menkana legora. Rasuzula lasharaya di peshi tuzugini legorada. 이제 다 텔레바 야부지 마치바나 냠 타바들에 야부지 마치바나 베 탑교 차고레스 다냠 강가 트레이딩인들에 로바 야부지 마치나 캡상지 렌진 로샤바나 로 비게 유치네 게제 야부 마시발라 소바 아니 따도 야부 마시발라 소바 아니 지 뒤순 로야게 탑시 치야라 소바 치반데 디 마라브라 왔으라 The Diria Pigilia Kokangante Wutun Pigil Levanza, the D. Semlashani, Robert Shishavana, Rangitanda, Shangitanda, Saman Drum Rage. The Dilichagdosra.
Being patient, forbearing with the hardships and difficulties that caring for others does bring is really of great importance. It will serve to keep you happier, as well as for you to have a more beneficial impact on those who are under your care, who are your responsibility. So as a caregiver, whether in nursing or another related field, the people that you are responsible for are there because they have need. They are ill, they are in pain, they are having varying difficulties. That's why they are in your presence. That's why they are under your care. And you're being paid something for this. And what you are being paid for is both your skills, your technical skills, but also what is really needed is the gentleness, the tenderness with which you care for your patient, care for this person who really is vulnerable and in need. Thinking like this, it helps generate a sense of responsibility and a focus on what is important. And for sure, when caring for those in need, who are perhaps in distress, or perhaps in discomfort and pain, there are going to be hardships for the carer. Of that, there is no doubt. But by being very aware that the priority is caring well for the person before you, one can much more easily have a patient attitude towards the hardships that come with such responsibility. And this will then enable you to remain focused on interacting with this person who is in need of you, interacting with them in a caring and professional and skillful manner. That's all.
Terda digi sosula pen shenla pen pugyang rimbula yimba na sosula pen ba shenla pen ba yungro asdara mi tindi chedingi miji yimba na ani 미참마 가오시야다. 로 디 용거라다로 아니 간스는 대리 하마고나 산이 제마 하고 용거래서 미스 미디 약보래다스 미드 삼반남다 kuchu kele na malena jacha jadamba me sama gauche cha yungres ro dirda pujan ringbola pengor kanji ani semba de samma ji kenro pembi samba ji ta samma ji dangan zu kabza la yin shi chen bu kun de langwa chanju sem kun de langwa se di se tongbu shu ji cha ni ngan za ko mo kanji pembi samba ji kun de langwa na tinti gores pembi shen la pembi samba ji kun de lang Rojavana. Tadi yakshures. Di pugyan rimbule pengres. Ta kewa chima killing is jimbaina. Kewa chimal deep hangres.
Those in professions such as this, they immediately bring benefit into the lives of others. This is clear. And if they have the kind of attitude I was sharing with you, they immediately too will receive benefit, the joy of helping to ease the suffering of others. But moreover, the carer will receive long-term benefit as well, because everyone appreciates a carer, whether a nurse or someone in a related field. Everyone appreciates the care they have been received, or they know that you do give to those in need. And this isn't something confined to those who are religious, but people appreciate those who show kindness. Therefore, whatever field of work you engage in, whatever activities in a daily life, if you have an attitude of wanting to benefit others, you will develop close and warm relationships with others. They will appreciate what you do. And if you, in addition to this, believe that in future lives, you will know that the karma, the causes you are creating, will lead to great benefit in future lives as well. That's all.
Tadik je kandas kewachmalaya pengres laundro. Ani kewachmala pembi ki chawad karres. Tangazu dindi sound dawai tabe yaguyosares ro. Ani kewachmala pembi ki chawad chigiyobati gevi chawadares. Gevi chawadares. Semba sangpatires. Kainsana kewachima omena sanyi pembi ki chawajora. Sanyi gyacha gyatamba sanyi ki ani sanyi pembi ki chawadi gyacha gyatamba takcho tuyadi tering chibi gewat chagares. Mado tering pena kala yakbuch sanyi ki chedo suyabayna. 산이 캠핑 해봐요 말이었어. 대린 캄바 즈부치 산이 기체도 녀바이나 산이 캠핑 해봐요 말이었어. 그래서 산이 소주디나 데투고 여매 산이 칼라도 사투고 여매 산이 둘러도 컨투고 여매 야보 성등은 수치게 다 치고 말았어. 이제 다 대린 개와 삼바 야부치 삼로 야부치 당야디 산이 Gacha Jatambata Pengores. Did that. Kewachimala Pembi Riparo did that Dinditon Yungures.
Something that I encourage you to think about, that's really beneficial to think about, is what activities will lead to benefit in future lives, and how do certain types of activities, how do they bring benefit to future lives? Let's make a couple of points here. That if, for example, you today are going to make a meal for others to enjoy tomorrow, and you are making the meal today with a good motivation, you want the meal to be both delicious as well as nutritious, then you have a really good motivation and a good attitude towards the people for whom you're making the food. and the food they are only going to enjoy tomorrow, but today you're making it. What is clear is that today you will receive benefit. Definitely today you'll receive benefit. Why? Because in your preparation and in the making of the meal, you have a good heart and a good motivation. And therefore, you yourself will be in a happy mental state. Tomorrow, those people who will get to enjoy your delicious meal, they will definitely receive benefit. But for you, well, maybe tomorrow may not even come for you. Today may be one's last day and death may unexpectedly come. But for sure, even though the activity you're engaging in is for future benefits, right now you are receiving benefit for yourself. That being said, though, the mental attitude with which you made that meal, this kind heart, this wish to bring benefit to the lives of others, whether you're in this life or the next, will definitely bring benefit to you tomorrow because of the continuum, that energy of that attitude. This will continue beyond right now. We continue from right now through to tomorrow. This is certain. That's all.
Dirda semba sambu digi ta sanyi ona kewachimala kandas pengres. Labaina kandas tachu tugres labaina. Tanganzo gün tün roya di semdres. Gün tün roya di semdres. Semdelaya niba katsu skite tubana di niba di gün tün rogores. San this tabu yordenia. Semlaya niba pakcha niba yagbuch te tubane di niba di ane sem di nyamdun rogores. Mado ludi kewachimala drogumda nganzu ludi lu kansana ko negab ni ane chongsha gyore negab ni todroda pene sanyi gi lule pembe gi chedo tering nganzu 가르치 야차 야담바 랍토 야지 가르치도 sanyi gi lule pembe gi chedo 간치도 말했어 가서나 류드 sanyi negi yeme 수치가 랍토고 매반사 nganzu 랍토고 말했어 pena 칼라야 주선 sanyi gi 사야지 sanyi pena 저거나 내거나 칼라사 산이 좋은 나기면서 하고 그래 산인 거는 칼라춘 산님을 좀 차게면서 하고 아니 어두 시디게 아니 베나직 론쪽 토니 아니 산이 뱀비 개와 치마라 뱀바티 신도네 아니 네바메와치 다 샘라 니바지테바나 샘 로기어 다 샘든 로거레 만주 템바디 대리 단다 커진 안주 가르치바디 대리 샘라 제한도 라 커진 네수 대리 샘라 제한도도 이나 류디 아니 대리 더 커진 살이야 로고잖아 로도 로해 거래요 말았어 다가라 아니 디니 기진이 발이야 코 교도 되게 맞아 당원내기 피기 따지 치기는 그게 되게 아니 류기 난그 도텐라 서버 아니 교도 되지 뭐 다가라 판도야지 용기요 말았어 기어치면 류도고 말았어 만두디 들 샤야르다 샘 로건자 샘디 니버침부 샘디 시우치 내봐나 아니 디 또기 류사바지 렘바이나야 펜도요 되버지 데다 개와치마 켈래야 디 딘자 개와치마 켈래야 디기 개와치마 켈래바이나 개와치마라야 펜비 자와 제국으로 왔다 다 개와치마라 펜비 자와 찌기여바디 야샤 갸담바 랍투게 찌기여바디 아니 개위 자와티 삼바 상부치야 디코나 차고레스더로 디코나 차고레스
We ask, so how does developing a wholesome mind or kind heart, how does it benefit my future? How does it benefit tomorrow? Well, because our mind, the continuum of our mind, continues from today to tomorrow. The consciousness itself continues with the imprints that we have accumulated. So there's these imprints, this energy of what we have thought, our thoughts, our consciousnesses, our minds. This continues from today to tomorrow, and travels in a way where we can, and that it does so is something we can develop deep certainty about. So let's then look at our body. Our current physical state, whether it will be the same tomorrow or not, no one can say for certain. On a molecular level, undoubtedly it changes. And it may change radically if this life ends and tomorrow we're in a different life. But even that aside, we may wake up tomorrow with a terrible headache. We just don't know. So the body, this can radically change. It's even clearer with our possessions, our resources. What we have today, who knows whether we'll have it tomorrow, make it lost, make it broken. That situation too, like with the body, is uncertain. But our mental continuum, this will definitely travel beyond today. In that, tomorrow we can recall today, just like today we can recall yesterday. And thereby, if we develop wholesome, virtuous minds when making this delicious meal, tomorrow if we serve it, we'll recall that. We'll recall our attitude on our motivation, and easily we'll be able to serve it with that same attitude. And so those who believe in future lives, but have no, especially if they have no doubt that after this life, another life will continue, they will know the body gets left behind, and therefore the body's importance is somewhat less so. But the mind will undoubtedly continue. And the mind is accompanied by all the various imprints accumulated in this life. So that, knowing that, such a person will take great care of their various activities, physical, verbal, mental, to ensure that whatever they engage in is, at the very least, doesn't bring harm, but ideally benefits, and most importantly, is done with a kind heart, a gentle attitude, because it's that the quality of the mind. This is what continues from today to tomorrow, from this life to our future lives. That's all.
Tilda Dinzang Anzugi Sani when the Lud Nibing Niba Mevainsa Ani Nanzu Sanita Tagaran Drugi Niba Mevainsa Sani Ched Chawaji Machiranjes Niba Yomaras Kizi Sani Tagaran Laga Yovana and Sani Tungin Gogurasra Di Chedwe Samutangores Yang Sani 이게 샘 기체 로 소수기 아니 니바 여바디 아니 산이래야 펜빙 니바 여바디 개와디인자 대한 제거야 니바 메바디야 니바 메반자 대한 제거와 간지 찬양보지 아니 간주 타니스 말로스 그랬을래야 타니스 말로스 라다 베드 산이 니바 요마르스는 베드 유샤바나 아니 자와디 대한 연관도 저래도스 산이를 야제 제도면 편도 유여신도 하고신 니 유샤바나 대한 드리마송스 라 딘자 아니 타니스 말로와치 아니 로바이나 베 템부차고레스 따라 베 템부 산이기 사야 통하게 제도 내가 뜻이 로정한 뉴스 숨지시지 대 원도 땅바이나 텔레야지 아니 베주치야기 아니 벤주디아 데스트 계지 마데바 기와치만 로고 촌나 기와치만 펜비기 기위차바디아 체도 수저바나 베템부차고 사레스 로 산지 들라브자 딘리지 기야기도 하다 로
if give an analogy, if we know that tomorrow there's something particular that we need to do, and it's something of importance, and we know that this definitely will be happening tomorrow, what will we do today? We will prepare. And when we will prepare, because we know tomorrow something is certain to come about, and it will go better if we have prepared well today, and therefore today we definitely will prepare. And in amongst the various things that can be done for to prepare for this event tomorrow, if some of them will definitely bring benefit tomorrow, and there's another group that, yeah, maybe they'll bring benefit tomorrow, but maybe they won't be needed. That group, those things that will definitely bring benefit tomorrow, we know we'll apply ourselves to today for certain. Those that may not bring benefit, these we may or may not engage in today. Similarly, those who've come to gain certainty about their next life, and that their next life could come perhaps even tomorrow, they will make sure they prepare well, so that whenever they breathe out their last breath in this life and their first breath in their new life, they are prepared. And the way to prepare is to cultivate virtue, wholesome minds. And the time to do that is every time, at whatever activity one is engaging in, to ensure that one's attitude, one's mind is wholesome and virtuous. And in this way, one is accumulating vast and powerful causes that will ensure that our future lives will go well. That's all.
The Kevachima Kilambu Godin Rodi and it's all direct Asra. Kevachima Kilambina. Kevachima Yori Sambi, some of the Shukchimbo Yobina. The Kevachima Yorslam, the Kevachima Drogor Segor Asra. Kevachima Drogu Yobaji Semnon Sorvina. Kevachima Lion Drovi Tadiji Chirota. Ah, Kevachima and Drovicalia, any Kia, any Pikevachima Levicalia, Chusozolea, Pagi, any Chavakari of a deed, Bezun Chigros. The deed Tanjishivanaja, the Chu Konamado gave Samba Konamado, and Shemachi Yomars, can care Yomaras. Give somebody same Gudilia, con Nuba Shagonza, Dig Nubadelia, Genshamba Teondi, Medog Sunanshi, Genshamba Teondi, and then driven mini, and the social pengores.
For those who do have a deep acceptance of reincarnation, of future lives, they will make sure that they prepare well for their future lives. And moreover, with their certainty that their future life can start at any time. Whenever it does start, will be for sure, it will be uncertain and unexpected. But they will know then that now is the time to prepare. And the way to prepare is to cultivate ever stronger, wholesome, virtuous ways of thinking, which get expressed through wholesome, virtuous activities, physical and verbal activities. And they'll make great effort to ensure they engage in as many activities as such and with the best quality attitude or mind as possible. Because they will have the understanding that it's these mental imprints on their continuum that will travel from this life to the next. So on the continuum, all these seeds or imprints are planted from these virtuous ways of thinking. And it's those that will flower or blossom in our future lives, bringing ever greater results. That's all.
Rada, ani miji kejetivana, the Sani can give a chimalan drogore, can and care careers, Lawainara. The Lenjagora, Dara Ngab ani Dolambum Chigilana, Kithumare, Kamba, Modra yes, Lavzayama. The kind came ever. The Pesach Samyagi, Nyanga Yorosra. The kind came 당원의 균땡이 깨워치면 켈레 텔레 팬비겠지. 아니 게위차와 체등이나 니 베나 많이 봄직 사이 나디 케이스. 나 차음 봄직 사이 나디 케이스. 나 데비린라 양원의 산지라야 대바트 지우지 대비 바샤지 나디 케이스. 딘딜라야 소속배 아니 로 데부로지 소야지. 당가 카이 케면 답배사 삼바이나 아니 감라기에 닌가 여러와스. 로
Yeah, it's always good to think about what is it that I'll take with me to my next life? And does this understanding of what we can and cannot take with us, does this relate well to how I'm living my life? Can I take my savings, my investments, my home, my car with me to my next life? Of course not. In fact, all of that will be left behind and will not be able to benefit us in any way in our future life. But what we can take is our deep trust, our faith in the Buddha, and all the imprints from our many other virtuous minds. These we can take with us. So too, though, the imprints from unwholesome minds, non-virtuous minds. And this understanding then brings about a sense of great care that we need to take of our mind to ensure that we strengthen the habituation, our habituation to wholesome, virtuous ways of thinking, because these are the imprints we want to take to our next life. But any habituation to unwholesome ways of thinking, these we need to weaken and eradicate. That's all.
균댕기 깨워치면떨어야 상당바이나 아니 깨워치면은 로렌디게 아니 샘래야 남자 매바식 로 데부지니 텐데 연구여서레스 마도 딕 사무 마다와이나 로렌비 갑둘라 안 서로 들려인 거다 그때 난주 춘예레스 텐다 직비기 수수 아니 규자라 라도고레 아니 지 사산 여와나 사산 라도고레 파마핀야여나 참말 라도 다 오늘 남자 짠짠 기대하게 년가씩 차고레스 다 균댕 그 상로다니 지 자와 가르치는 셴라지 펜토나 펜야지 치 상로다니 셰딩이 진바이나 로렌비 갑둘라 소소라 칸여바티 아니 셴라 펜바쇼 삼성 로치 게트고서레스 베나 규침부지마나 당가 규변주야웨다 디 당가 드라는 미샴발야 수 라바람 텔레펜바쇼 삼성기 삼로지 게시 야담 땅투거레스 뜻담바는 수술로 되고 디기 깨워치말레 펜고레스 그 얌셈바르자라 딘자 넘버 3기비게 레균데 셰데야다 개방하시 셰데야게 거버균센 하고 와이나 배 약부여서레스 라 디마다 아니 개방하마 개워치마시 쇼문드 삼성을 차와이나 개워치말은 로르미니 모델라 데니 남라기야 년가요레스 라 산지생인 탑케와 투지체마 덴바인자 안 다가스 쇼메유 싸우니는 숭마레스 국민남주 여행이지라
There's so many benefits to think about, so many benefits that will follow through reflecting on cause and effect and reincarnation. One amongst the many benefits, when the time comes for us to die, if we have thought about cause and effects and reincarnation well, recognizing that now this is the time when I'm moving from this body to a new one. This perhaps old and decrepit body is to be left behind as I now move to a new one. That's a mental attitude that's much more relaxed and spacious. Moreover, as part of this process of moving from one body to another, I don't only leave behind my body, all my resources, my wealth, my loved ones, they also all need to be left behind. This is just how it is. This is the natural way of things. This is how it is in reality. And that way of thinking is also very open, very relaxed. And this means at the time of death, one will be able to die with a sense of ease, without any anxiety or apprehension. Moreover, one will also have the wish, may all that I am leaving behind, may it bring benefit, may it bring as much benefit as possible. All that I've accumulated and acquired with effort in my life, may it bring benefit to others. So here you see someone who's moving from this life to the next, from this old body to the new one, with an attitude that is both relaxed about what is happening, without any anxiety or fear, as well as with a beneficial mind, wanting that whatever they're leaving behind, may it also bring benefit. So these are two wonderful attitudes to leave this world with, rather than leaving with any kind of anxiety. So therefore, Buddha Shakyamuni emphasized the importance of having a deep understanding and acceptance of reincarnation and cause and effect. Because to the extent that one does, great benefit will come to you. And in fact, everything the Buddha taught, he taught solely to benefit others. And he did so with knowing that we as human beings have incredible intelligence and can really understand things deeply. We just need to gather knowledge and reflect well on it, and deep and transformative understandings will come. Lasso.
Bena legunde kewang hashi chik sem takba set zo semla digi jonya ki tablam yakshu de dasra anzo sem di be kechembo ra anzo nima chigla ani lu khobchende lu goje jamatu wi tuji gacha gadam legres lu goje jamatu ya tuji nima chig legres ra ta gyundeng gi dindi gi pena choma dabadala so sam tu samngin jimba na chi shem lab chi pemba sho sambi malam gyardeng jimba na lu goje jamatu kabdo delaya sem sibu chen lagirdas ra ti negavsta tagayin samsamchi ko choma dabare ko yungre samsamchi ra yobaina semlang amra kig mares ra ani mulam jine gyartu gores mulam gyawale injimi gongu goma lagbang gu kam sem nalala ya tanga ani sendini ani droren song kewa dinen droren zo ta kewa chimala ya yabuchi kewa sho samsamraj chi kewa chimadela ya chi mi mangbujela ya pendo chetungi mi ji kewa sho samsam 아니 딘디기 쌈노 나라야 땡땡 코르투 그랬어. 디 여바는 계란 그 수부 그게 잡았는데 샘 기부진 대투야지. 답시 단단히 소고 그랬어.
When one reflects on cause and effect and reincarnation, this will lead one to think about the impermanence of one's life. And this is greatly important for us to experience happiness, to live happy, to be happy beings. It's essential to take care of our mind. And when we reflect on these topics, we will come to gain certainty that the time will come when I have to leave this body behind. That's okay. It will definitely come. And this will help us accept this fact, because this is just how things are. As we reflect even more on the impermanence of our life, we will recognize that the time will come when everyone and everything and I will all be gone. And that's okay. That is how it is. Thinking like this has a number of great benefits, two of which are when the time of death comes, we'll be open and accepting, and we'll travel into our new life with ease, with a relaxed state of mind. Moreover, From now until then, we will apply ourselves to accumulate virtue with a wish, which will express now and when it's time to move from this life. May I continue to be born as a human being, continue to have excellent rebirths like I have now. And through strengthening our virtues, strengthening our virtuous ways of thinking, and therefore these virtuous imprints on our mind, combined with our wish to live a good life and to pass into our next life with ease and without any anxiety or fear, we can have confidence that we will then attain a good rebirth as a human again. That's all.
도지체 담망부 스케셔먼도 아니 제와도였나 따는 디그리스 되니 제와 매바이나 아니 제막 사님한테가 델메스로 단데 아니 디 제메 사님만은 아주 제용스.
Thank you very much. I've said really quite a lot, but if you have questions, please do ask. Now I'll be very happy to answer your questions. If there aren't questions, I'm not here next week, but then it will be in 2 weeks' time. We'll be back together.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Final Lamrim dedication. From my 2 types of merits, vasa space, that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a grand length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings. With the points of the path, I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted boundless peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded path to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their sons. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtues practices, may he always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. Thank you.